It was 4 years ago in 2012 that Lightstorm Entertainment first approached me about directing a movie adaptation of Oryx and Crake. I was pretty skeptical at first because I'd heard about the rough shape it was in after the last 8 years in development hell with Paramount. Also, I was gearing up to direct the next four sequels of Avatar, and I didn't think I'd have time to direct this movie until they're all done, probably in the next decade. But then I read the book, and I thought to myself, this deserves to be on the silver screen. And so we bought the rights to the film, and here we are now.
Yeah, so as James said, he's been busy filming the last few Avatar sequels, so he brought me in to help with the screenplay.
We'd worked together before on Titanic, so I knew Emmett here was right for the job. I was still heavily involved with the movie, but without Emmett, I doubt the movie would have made it off the ground as soon as it did.
Thankfully, we talked with Atwood a lot during the writing process, and this was really great for us because she gave us some insight that only the original author could have, and a lot of those details came in from the third book, Mad Adam, which was not released at the time. So some of those details really made it into the final script, and that helped them make the movie a lot more complete.
Exactly. With all this in place, I was absolutely confident we would succeed where Paramount had failed.
The screenplay we developed had to find a balance between portraying a dystopian, futuristic society while also having time for character development.
We drew heavily on the book in this regard. The truth of Snowman's world is revealed only slowly to the audience, with the bulk of the movie consumed with flashbacks to when Snowman was Jimmy.
These flashbacks really allow us to show the evolution of characters like Jimmy, Oryx, and Crake, while also allowing us to give the audience glimpses of this future world.
While the fact that this world is futuristic is clear from the start, for as long as possible, we keep the audience in suspense as to how it transitioned to Snowman's post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, so at the start of the movie, you have no idea where it's set, and only gradually does it become clear that a disease has caused the complete collapse of civilization, and only later do you realize that it was Crake who masterminded the entire thing.
No movie about the future is complete without its fair share of CGI-enhanced futuristic scenes, and Oryx and Crake is no exception. The views of the Plebelins, Oregon Inc., and Snowman's post-apocalyptic world were created almost entirely via CGI and green screens.
However, you have to really remember that this is not a utopian future we're portraying, it's a dystopian future. The buildings are for the most part modern looking, but they're not really as shiny or as clean as most of the concept sketches would suggest.
Yeah, in Atwood's world, most of the resources have shifted long ago to the compounds, leaving little money for repairs in the Plebelins. And so instead of designing cool buildings, the focus is now on genetic modification.
Yeah, but this genetic modification is not for the purpose of aiding the human race, it's to make a profit. And that's why these companies invent diseases so that they can then be paid to treat them.
The animals, too, are entirely CGI. The Wolvogs, the Pigoons, the Chicky Knobs, and the Glow Rabbits.
We originally considered using real animals, but at least for the Wolvogs, as they look just like real dogs. But the scenes with the Wolvogs already mostly use CGI, so we decided that computer generated animals would be much easier.
This also allowed us more freedom in designing the animals. The Wolvogs in this movie are more aggressive than any real dogs could safely be. There's also the irony of poodles and sausage dogs trying to kill you.
Yeah, so the glow robots and the chicky knobs, on the other hand, had to be CGI. We took this as an opportunity to make the chicky knobs as horrifying as possible, and the fact that people are really eating them just shows how far the society has fallen.
Most of the scenes in the movie were filmed in the studio in Los Angeles, with the backgrounds then added through CGI and green screens. But some of them, such as when Jimmy and Crake go into the Pleblands, were filmed in Atlanta.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the Pleeblands and Oryx and Crake are not actually that futuristic, so we could use Atlanta as a base, and at least from the street level.
Yeah. Other filming locations included Florida for the compounds and modules, and the Georgia Tech campus for both Martha Graham and Watson Crick.
All these locations were then, of course, enhanced using CGI to make them fit with the overall atmosphere we wanted the movie to create, and one that is both futuristic but really painfully similar to the world today.